Hi, welcome to the Indie Lounge. I'm your host, Mandy Del Rio, and today we are on set with Nicholas Sutton Bell. He's an illustrator, artist, filmmaker, man of adventure. And Nick, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
So we're going to talk about you, we're going to talk about your career, we're going to talk about what you do. You've written a children's book, Mary the Tooth Fairy. You have done artwork and a music video for one of my favorite bands, the Lumineers. And you've done lots of artwork that's on your website. And then you're going to be doing a film, not to mention all the adventuring you do, which we'll get into. But let's start with, let's start with your children's book. I really want to know, what inspired you, and if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was, I went to school for illustration at the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I was really bad at it. I think like once you start seeing like there were so many talented kids, and once you start seeing that, you get like a little insecure about like what you're making. And there was this publisher, Red Signet Press, that had a deal where anybody who wasn't published and was willing to write and illustrate their own book, they would give them a book deal. So I would like tell all the kids at school in my class, I'd be like, oh, you should do this because it's awesome and like you get a book published and it's super great. And they were all like, no. I think one of them did it and she got it, but yeah, it was like junior year I heard about it and I was like, you guys should totally do this because you're so amazing and whatever. And then it came time to graduate, and I really didn't know what I was going to do, so I was like, well, I'll just apply to it, because we had a bookmaking class where I'd kind of like roughed the concept out for Mary the Tooth Fairy, which is about a kleptomaniac finding her place in the world. So
that's original.
I guess. But it's like it's told through like the American myths. I mean, you got Santa and like Mother Goose and, or the Americanized version of all these different holiday things, the stork and everything. So it's like everybody, Sandman, like everybody makes like a cameo. And I just want to like pack as much in as I possibly could to a children's book and just make it really different than like, balls and shapes and stuff like that. I wanted like characters and character development. And,
I mean, it's cool, and the artwork is fantastic.
Thanks.
What are your influences as far as in this particular book, your artwork, and I mean...
I think it's like, honestly, well, that is, I don't know. I think in general it's like Bill Watterson was a huge influence, like Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, I can see, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Well, he's great. There's like the classics.
Inspired, yeah.
Yeah, and then like Norman Rockwell, Mobius, all the like the guys that are just phenomenal that you see like all the time. I think you can't help but be influenced by them. And then like your classmates as well in school, like you're just like feeding off, and people are giving like it in my work. Like we're always like kind of influencing each other, and like design is just yours, and it's weird. It's like everything's kind of a summation of like everything you've experienced in life, and the people. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
You're supposed to. It's our interview. Please, you do the talking.
It's like the nervous
thing. The pressure off me.
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. So it was part of the assignment, I guess, then to try to do this, and then...
Well, so no, I mean, it was like I went home from school, and my sister, who's 16 now, she came home from the hospital on my 16th birthday. And as she was growing up and I was coming back home, like, it's like, I don't know, I feel like kids see the world the best, and it's like, we should all do that.
Yeah.
There's like no reason why you shouldn't just always be dreaming, or like always taking stupid risks, or like taking a chance. Like if you have something in your head, you should put it down on paper. Like you shouldn't think it's a fleeting thought. And like I was going through a lot of that of just like like life and everything trying to put you in a certain bracket. And I had this amazing little sister that, I mean, now she's 16, there's like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or whatever. But like when she was growing up, she would ask all these really intriguing questions. Like she was like, how does the tooth fairy get around? And I drew a crotchety old lady on like a rocket, just like, going nuts, just because I wanted to like impress her and like show her how I thought it was. And then that kind of, I brought that to class for the concept of we had bookmaking class.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, "That's cool, but why don't you make it like a younger Tooth Fairy?" And I was like, "All right, who do I know that's younger and cool?" And it's actually based off my girlfriend in college, who was a raging kleptomaniac, but like an awesome girl, and she inspired me to no end. So it's kind of like just, I don't know, I'm really inspired by like women, you know? Does that sound weird? I don't know if that sounds weird. It's just like I'm really having a little sister, and like, I don't know, they're more interesting to me than guys who are like break and smash and you know, I don't know. It's like, to me, I think female characters are just like, because I don't understand the female psyche like at all, you know? And it's like, a lot of my work I feel like is based around that, having a little sister and like trying not to be preachy, but like learning lessons and hoping she discovers the right way in life.
That is so cool.
You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. I think that's awesome. That's really cool.
Jess.
What's that?
That's her name, Jess.
Oh, cute.
I feel like she'll see this at some point.
Yeah, well, shout out. That's cool. Now you can get this on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, it's on all those sites. It's pretty old, actually. There's like, you can get it on like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all that stuff, and then it's like sold out at the distributor level. Like, so I don't know, like you can't like buy it in a bookstore or anything like that. So it's good, you know.
That's really a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's like what? So if any publisher sees this and wants to have me do my next one, I'm totally down with that.
All right, cool. And then was this the one where you got the news when you were in Spain?
No, that was, yes.
Didn't you say something about like when you were in Spain?
No, so when I was graduating
I gotta get to Spain.
Cool. Yeah, you want to drop the story and boom. When I graduated college, me and my friends from high school had decided like we should do something crazy, and we decided to go running with the bulls in Spain. So we booked the trip like halfway through our senior years of college, and then like we knew that was coming. So I think ultimately the fear of dying in Spain with running the bulls pushed me more even to produce this. So I literally got home from school. I was like, I don't know, there's a thing with college towns where it can kind of tend to become, you know, in Pinocchio, where the kids stay too long and they all become Jack.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
Did I say that? It's an animal, right?
Yeah, no, we can't, but I think we get like donkeys.
So, yeah, donkeys. They all become donkeys. And it's just because they stayed in the carnival too long and they were just playing too long.
Right.
Know? So it's like it's kind of like the ultimate tale of like get to work, you know?
Yeah.
So who wants to turn into a donkey? I don't. I mean, I kind of look like a donkey.
Just kidding.
But no, so totally, this is like down paths that I shouldn't even be going.
Oh no, that's okay. You know, let's take a break because I'm getting the wrap up sign from Luna over there.
Right.
But when we come back, so we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk more with Nicholas about bull running, skydiving, and the Lumineers. So please stay tuned.
Oh, the shark, babe, has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Mag Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight.
Hi, welcome back to the Indie Lounge. We're back with Nicholas Sutton Bell. We were just talking about bull running, I think is coming up. I don't even know if we got there yet, but let's, so you were talking about in Spain.
No, so I booked a trip to go to Spain to go running with the bulls after college.
So crazy. I can't even wrap my brain around it.
Well, it's just
okay.
like, imagine what it's like to be in a alley with like a ton of bulls and human beings, and like just really try and imagine it, and that's exactly what it's like.
Did you have to dress up and do like the scarf and everything?
Yeah, we had it all white and the attachés and everything. It was kind of unbelievable. We actually, when we were trying to get the train up to Pamplona from Valencia, where we like flew in and like stayed, we had to rent a car because all the train tickets were sold out, and it was like the sole purpose of like why we went to Spain. And so we like rent a car and drove up the coast of Spain, which wound up being a lot cheaper than getting the train tickets. So it was cool. Yeah, it was super intense. But the 2 nights before I sent this book pitch off, I stayed up for like literally 48 hours making it and like trying to put it together to be like the best it could possibly be before I sent it off to the publisher. And on my way to the airport to go to Running with the Bulls in Spain, I dropped off the book proposal, and it shipped out, and we were in Spain for like a week and a half, and then we came back and like summer moseyed on, and I was hanging out with my folks, and I got an email from them. Went back when I had Hotmail, which nobody knows what that is.
Right.
That was so bad. I shouldn't say that. That's like mean to Hotmail, right? That's like so bad. I don't mean, I loved my Hotmail account. It was so good. But then it got hacked. But anyway, so and then I got an email from the publisher, and they were like, we're gonna do your book, and can you flesh it out a little bit more? And then it's like that, oh my God moment where you're just like, all right, like I put myself out there and somebody wants to take something from it. I gotta do it.
Fantastic. That is so cool, and it's like totally just paid off, and you left a mark. It's awesome.
Yeah, the amount of people that come up to you after you do a children's book and say, hey, I want to do a children's book is unbelievable. Like it's just like so many moms, and and I always just say, like, just do it. Like with anything in life, like you just have to make it.
I know.
Like you were saying with your ornaments and stuff, like it's like just make, or this show, like just doing stuff, and then hopefully it hits, and if it doesn't, you just keep hitting the wall.
Just keep going.
Like my mouth.
The time's gonna go. The time's gonna pass anyway. You might as well try to make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, so you did. So that was one of your interesting stories about the bull running, which I told you I looked up pictures last night. I can't wrap my brain around it.
Well, you definitely couldn't do it in heels. That's for sure.
Forget about it.
If I was wearing heels and had to do the bull running, I would probably be freaked out. Or was like thinking about bull running in heels. I'd be like, this is insane. I think it's like the connection.
That's the only thing that'll push you over the edge. That's funny. So now let's talk about. I know you're like I seriously could go on for like an hour with you because there's so much I want to talk to you about. But we have a limited amount of time, so let's get into the Lumineers work. Like I said, I connected with you because I saw that video and I was blown away. And it's very, very well done, very original. And if you want to go ahead and talk about how that got going, and I know you did artwork for them too, which I think we're going to try to show.
Yeah, I went to high school with those guys, so it wasn't like they were like out of the blue, like, oh, there's this random dude. But they like when they were still trying to come up and like get successful and everything, I just was like, I have this drawing skill, or I wouldn't even call it that, like this drawing addiction, and like you guys have really awesome music, and let me just make stuff for you, like let's brainstorm, come up with good ideas and like whatever. So like me and Wes would meet and we'd like discuss different ideas, and we had like a really good, it was like a partnership from the beginning. It was never like I was getting hired, and their whole team is great. Like everybody that works with them, they did a really good job in just getting really awesome people around them, and the fact that like I'm even part of that is like amazing. And so I just literally, I have a full-time job and then was doing this Lumineer stuff with them, and just like working nonstop, and like all of a sudden they get picked up for they get the record deal, and they're like, hey, we have this record deal.
Did they say ho hey?
He's like, oh hey.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. They're good with it. But they they get the record deal, and everything got kind of put on hold for a second. And I was like super freaking out about like, you know, because I was having a lot of fun like making all this stuff. And I remember Wes called me and he was like, hey man, like we just got picked up, like everything's good, you're coming with us. He was like, let's like work and let's like rock it out.
Awesome.
So I just like would crank for them all the times. You know, it's like any creative job, like you revisions, you get something good, it gets out there, great, on to the next one. So that was that, and I think it just like worked really hard at it. And me and Wes had always like bounced around like music video ideas, you know, and like passing, we'd like kind of like I'd say something here and there and be like, hey, I have a kind of idea, you know, just because thought it'd be fun to try. And I was traveling, I was in Italy. I feel like I need to travel more, because every time I travel, I get some really cool gig right afterwards. But this was like years after the Spain trip, and I was in Italy, and like he was like calling me and texting me, and I had like Wi-Fi and stuff, and I was like, what's going on, man? And he was like, hey, we want to put together a music video for Submarines. I'm just curious if you had anything, you know, like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, dream come true, you know?
That's awesome.
And this is after Ho Hey had hit and like all this other stuff. And there's no reason they should have trusted me with that responsibility. And it was this body swell of like, I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
You know? So I met, am I talking too much about this?
No, I want you to. No, we just have to mind the time, but no, please, I want to know. Yeah, let's just let's keep going.
So I'd be remiss to not like to mention everybody that worked on it. So it was, I met Neil Dvorak, who has easypiecescomic.com. Is that going to be on the thing?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
good. So go check that out. It's like the most fantastic work I've ever seen in my entire life.
Great.
Like the kid's just amazing, and we became super fast friends after meeting each other at Comic-Con. It was just in passing. I was like, who's this weird guy? So anyway, I knew Neil. Neil was fantastic. We were always like, oh, we should work on something together, you know? And like, we were just like, we were like bro dating, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, I kind of want to hang out. Hey, me too. But like, you know.
Yeah.
All right, is it going to be weird? It was like, no, we just became like besties. And he, so Wes calls me and he's like, oh, can you do something for Submarines? And I was like, got to figure it out. And I was like, who do I know? I was like, I know Neil. I know my buddy Brian Melso, who's really good at putting stuff together, like producing and all that stuff. And then, are we wrapping? We're wrapping up?
Let's go. Well, we'll take another break.
Okay, yeah.
Let's take another break and then we'll come back because there's more things that we want to talk about.
Sure.
So no, sorry, I didn't know you had that good of like vision, peripheral vision.
Synced up.
We're gonna take a short break and then we'll be back. We want to talk more with Nicholas Sutton Bell, so please stay with us. Thank you. We're back with Nicholas Sutton Bell on the Indie Lounge. So, Nick.
Whatever.
Let's talk about your next movie. Now, are you shooting this in April, correct? Or
yeah, we're gonna shoot in April. It's called Brian the Great. It's about a little boy that lives in a magical antique shop. And his misadventures in the antique shop and all the trouble he gets into, and his uncle Alistair, who we have cast all these parts, and hopefully once it shoots and it comes to life, that guy's going to be in it. It's the King of Nowhere. He's kind of like this amazing prop that I had built by this guy, Jacob Peterson, who is a sculptor. Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a sculptor in Sweden who I sent him a drawing, and he sent that back, and it was just like this really fantastic exchange, and he was making that.
Well, that rules. See, I told that joke again. I had to get it in there.
That is good. King rules.
So I'm sorry. And then what you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you off with my joke.
No, that's good. Wait, let me say the King of Nowhere, and then you say.
He rules. So let's talk. What is it? You said it's. Okay. Let's go back to what it's about. Kid in it. You said it's going to be a mix between.
Oh yeah. So the pitch for it is it's the never-ending story meets Indiana Jones, and then you asked.
Yeah, because to
Raiders
me, Temple of Doom. I know. I'm the only one that thinks that. I get into that discussion all the time, and then you said you like The Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade was the best, and I went to that with my father. And he took me to see that in this old theater in Sutton, New York. And he's a big movie buff himself, and he, like I was saying, is the Hemingway.
Is the
like,
actual Hemingway.
He's like, and I'll do my dad impersonator. Nick, I mean, it's ridiculous. You gotta, I don't get it. And he's got a cigar, and he's like, he's Hemingway, and he's so quick to get his hands dirty and like have an adventure and have some fun, and he's just like the massive influence in my life. He's just such a hero, and I enlisted him to help on this project, and he's just shown up and been so supportive, and we've been building things together, and it's become this weird like father-son bonding thing, along with like the, you know, building a set for a movie with a giant 8-foot by 8-foot grandfather clock.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, and I'm going to try to put it, I'll definitely put it on the online interview, but hopefully we can get it on the TV one too.
Yeah.
Because that set is gorgeous. Like, it's so just pretty, and I know you said you shot it, right? You photographed it, and it's just, I love the lighting and everything, so I'm curious, like, what are you going to do with that set? And I know you don't want to give away too much of what you're doing.
Well, with the physical set, we're going to throw it out, like, when it's all done.
Like, well, yeah, but I mean, like, what do you,
for
like,
the... So
you know, like the movie?
Yeah, what the movie... but again, it's like the making stuff thing, you know? It's like, I don't really care. So the thing not that I don't care, I mean, totally care, but it's more about learning to let go, you know, with like kind of everything, like things you can't control. And that's what I really like about this whole like production process, is that you're like building these beautiful sets and elaborate props, and then like you shoot them for a bit and then they're gone.
I know.
You know, it's like,
it's true.
It's kind of really therapeutic in a way to be okay with that, you know, like not holding on to
like
things.
Once you're done, it's kind of like the closure.
Yeah, there's
Well, now the set, are you lighting it that way too? Like,
no, I haven't. That was just, I'm putting what I'm doing for it. No, it's fine. The photos that you're probably going to show are the only photos that you have.
Right.
They are, I'm putting together a pitch packet. So it's basically I'm making another one of these for the film.
Yeah, great.
So I want to get like funding and stuff from like investors and things like that. So I'm trying to put together and like the right creative, my warriors, as Jordaski said. Get the right warriors on it. So like, when the crazier your idea is, the harder it is to get people on board. So I've just been like trying to be like every step I'm like building more and more and more of just like making it happen. You know? And my friend Brian pushed the button and was like, let's make this, you know, I want to do more stuff with you. Come on.
It's great.
So I'm like, okay, so here I am, and just making it and like showing it to the right people. Hopefully that will get on board, and you get your next set of warriors to go to battle, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just kind of running at a brick wall at 100 miles an hour and not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it breaks and sometimes it doesn't. Like I have countless things that just broke and fell to the ground, you know.
Yeah.
And this might not, you know, who knows?
You'll never know until you get out there and you jump on both feet and dive right in. What cliches can we say? So no, that's really exciting. You have all the characters and all.
Yeah, it's written, it's ready to go. I've been aging his tool belt, which I have in the car, for the whole winter. I like left it out in the winter and like burned it and everything. So it's cool. Like I'm like I like learning things or like trying to get things. So I'm like kind of learning how to make props now, you know, and it's fun. Yeah, it's just like whatever. It's way more fun than being hungover on the couch.
Yeah,
you know? Like you're like just being lazy.
Like, I don't know. Some people like to be hungover on the couch. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Absolutely. Now where can people go to learn more about, I know what I wanted to talk about. Your artwork on your website. Tell people where they can go to your website.
It's www.asuttonparade.com.
Where's parade come from?
It's just like, we're all parades of people, you know, and you're all guiding all these different places.
I like it.
It
sounds fun.
Yeah, your parade, Mandy parade. Like,
that's right.
Parade. Yeah, so I don't know, it was that, and nickbell.com just sounded really boring. And Nicholas Sutton Bell is like way too much, so A Sutton Parade.
I like it. Yeah, it's cool, and it sticks out, but it's like, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Like, I think I use it for like Instagram and all that stuff now.
Yeah, and you're on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter, or I might be, but I don't use it.
Oh, well, I guess I'm just following an empty account.
Yeah, I probably should. If I used Twitter, I'd probably get in a lot of trouble.
Okay. All right. Well, so we can go to your website, and on your website, I noticed all this artwork, and a couple of them really stood out. The Adventure Time.
Oh, the tribute thing?
That was so cool because my daughter is like, we watched that show together. Yeah. I love that show. I mean, as an adult, I'm like, that is one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. So
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like how, like, you know, you're collecting these things as you're growing up of like little elements and whatever, and then you kind of create your own vision. And that Adventure Time to me was one of those things where it was just like, oh, this is like, if I could make a cartoon, it would be Adventure Time.
Yeah,
you know? Like
it's so good.
So now it's like a time to make your own adventure.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah.
Just make your own thing. Just do it.
I know. It's so cool. Anyway, I love how you made it like realistic with the dog and the kid. That was really cool. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Actually, we do have to wrap it up.
Right.
But it's been... Yeah, I am. I don't know. Luna's got it down. So, thank you so much again for coming today. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Me
cool.
too. And we'll have to have you back on if you want to come on at a later time.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Thanks a lot. That brings us to wrapping up another episode of the Indie Lounge. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to find out more about the Indie Lounge, you can go to our website, www.indieloungetv.com. Follow us on Twitter at Indie Lounge TV, Facebook, Indie Lounge TV. And that wraps up. So thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.
I believe submarines underneath deep blue sea. Saw the flags, Japanese. No one will believe me. Ran back to the town bar and I told the people how I'd seen a submarine and everyone laughed aloud. I did spy a periscope, dead of night on the eastern coast. The police made them jokes. Thinks I'm a liar, no one knows the truth. If it was a bigger fire, I would be on the ships will rust in Baldwin Bay. the secrets of the sea.